Hi, welcome to our Facebook group Love Paper Crafts and the installment in our Make and Swap a Junk Journal process. We are going to discuss pockets. So for those of you who are new to our group, we're doing a Make and Swap Junk Journal. Now ours isn't going to look quite this big, but we took a book apart. We took an old book apart. We took the pages out of it. We decoupaged or painted it. And now we've selected our papers for it. And now we are going to make pockets for our junk journal. So this is what we did. We took the book apart. We took the book pages out, right? This one has, it's been reinforced with duct tape. We decided on what kind of type of cover we were going to do, right? And then we selected papers. So we have selected papers for our junk journal. We have folded them and they are now ready to have pockets or add some new papers to be made into pockets. So let me just give you some ideas of what you can do with your own junk journal. I'll show you some of my favorite pocket things I've done. So the first thing I did was I took an old map, actually an atlas. I felt like I really scored. I got an atlas and at a thrift store for $1. It has like 1,000 pages. I cut this atlas and the page in half, and I glued down the sides of it to become the pockets. Now, as you can see, what's neat about this is that it has a little tuck spot to the side of it, and it has a deep pocket, so you can put a lot of stuff in it. This is another cool or just really neat way to reuse the book pages that you took apart. So what I did was I took this is just a piece of copy paper, right? And I took one of the book pages that we have, because we have a ton of them, right? We took our book apart, and here is all the book pages that we can use. So I took this book page and I folded it. I took it and I folded it to make a square, okay? And then I cut the bottom off. And then I folded it one more time, just like this. Then I glued the center part together. This part, the part where it folds in together. I glued it together. Just creates a more stable pocket or tuck spot. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue it to the side of my journal page. What's neat about this is you can really do it with anything. If you have magazines or things that you really love the graphics of, you could, use those pieces, or Lands' End catalogs. They have some really neat patterning in those. Any type of, thing like that. So what's neat about it is it creates two little places to put your tags, ephemera, and so that's just another idea. This is, I took an old travel magazine and I folded the page in half, right? Then I just took washi tape. What's neat about it is it creates two pockets at the top. It creates, so that you can put your tags, your ephemera in it, whatever it is that you want to put in it. So it creates tags. It'll be sewn in the middle. And then the other thing I did was I took a piece of a paper bag, and I just cut it off and glued it down the sides. I tucked in the inside and glued it down, and that's also another tuck spot. So another little pocket. This is one of my favorite folds. I really love this, and you can do it with anything. You don't have to do it with a piece of scrapbooking paper, but this is just easier to show you. So what you're going to do is you're going to fold your piece in half and fold it in half again. Then you're going to open it back up and face it to itself. Then you're going to fold in one corner. You're going to fold in another corner, then fold it back in half, and isn't this neat? So there you go. You have an automatic pocket and an automatic pocket. What's neat about this is once you've sewn it into your binding, you don't have to do any gluing. But if you were going to, you could also use the same idea for a flip book, but if you were going to use it for a flip book, you'd want to glue it at the top or use washi tape or something like that. Here's another pocket I've made. I took a paper bag, folded it in half, or folded about a third of it up, and then sewed it, and it's also going to be used as a portion of my junk journal, and as you can see, really nice size pockets. This is that old map thing I showed you earlier, just a different take on it. So this is a very large atlas page, and it's too big for my book. So I measured what it would be, right? And then what I did was I folded the bottom corner up, and then I folded it in. So it's gonna make a tuck spot. Actually, I folded it in one side and then folded it in half and folded it up. It's gonna make I'll glue this side, and I'll either sew or glue this side. So this side will have sort of a hidden tuck spot and a pocket, and then this one will have a pocket. This is also kind of a fun idea to use for the used book pages that you have. So what I did was I took a book page and a larger book that I had taken apart, and I folded it in half. Then I went ahead and I glued just another piece of an old book page to make a spot. Then if you open it up, I also glued another piece in here to have a book page, and then I made a library card style pocket out of scrapbook paper. And so, you can do it too. It's pretty fun. Then just used a punch and cut out the center. There's no rules in junk journaling. It's just supposed to be fun and creative. And if you're like me and like to recycle, I find it quite enjoyable. I kind of see things for junk journals and everything that I might have thrown away before. So this is a bill envelope, right? And what I did was I stuck a piece of scrapbooking paper in there because I didn't want to see it say DirecTV, but you could do whatever you'd like. And then I left the top of it open, or I cut the flappy part off, and I left the top of it open, so it made two pockets. What's neat about these style envelopes is you could also just cut the side open here, and you could use it this direction as a pocket as well. It's just something fun, and the sky's the limit as far as I'm concerned and what you do. This is kind of neat. This is just a book page that I cut in half. I actually don't have a circle punch, so I used a glue stick, and I measured both sides. So it's going to be sewn in directly like this, and you can use it as a tuck. It has an opening on the side, and then an opening on the other page at the top. So you can use any books that you have that you really just like the pages or what's on them. This is an old algebra book or geometry book I bought. Our library was having a 10-cent library sale, so for me it was like I loved it. Let me just show you a couple of other things that I've done in this book. Now this is just a little bit more elaborate than you have to have, but it's just pocket size and style that you can see. So this is one I've done. Old book page. I didn't even glue it down, used washi tape, took the security envelope, and also made a pocket. So you have a pocket here, and then you have like a little extra smaller pocket in the front with a window. Isn't that cool? This, I took some notebook paper, and I used handmade washi tape, glued it down, and it's just a neat little pocket. This is an envelope I made, and I'm going to show you guys how to do that as well. I'm going to show you how to make these envelopes out of your old book pages. This is made out of a calendar. Once again, a security envelope that I didn't even glue down, and I just taped it with washi. And this is another example of a similar style pocket as earlier. So I took two old book pages, and I glued one behind and one in front, and this makes a pocket, and then this makes a pocket. So really it's up to you. The sky's the limit as far as I'm concerned. Let me show you a couple of other cool things that you can do with your book pages that I find fun. Hopefully you'll find it fun too. So old book page, we're going to make an envelope. So you want to make it square. Now I'm not going to really fold it all the way down because I don't want a crease in the middle of mine. But but you can do it any way you want. And I'm going to cut off the bottom. Now remember, these are imperfect. You can measure them, but you know, I don't find the need. I like to keep the part that I've torn out at the bottom, but you can do it any way you want. You want to fold in one side and try to match it up and fold in the other side. I'm just eyeballing it. It's not going to be perfect. Fold the bottom up. Now what you're going to see is when you fold the bottom up, you're going to have, see this little extra bits? These book pages are kind of thin. It would probably be fine, but you can cut those off, and I'll show you what I mean. Now you've already scored it perfectly with the folding, so you don't have to worry about it. And remember, it's the inside of the envelope. Nobody's going to see it. It's just to lessen the bulk. Okay, so you want to fold the insides in. Now this is kind of a cool tip. You want to make sure that you're not gluing. Now the other thing is, if you want it to, if you're going to put it into a junk journal just like this, you could leave this. You don't even have to fold the top down. I like to cut it across the top, but you can do it any way you'd want. You can cut it round, you can round it, you can, you know, it's up to you. It's your envelope. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect. Now, the one thing you don't want to do is glue up here. You just want to glue the sides just a little bit on either side and fold it up. Now you can use this as a pocket if you wanted to in your junk journal, right? If you want to use it as an envelope in your junk journal, you want to fold the top down. Now you can also do the same thing. You can cut these sides off and round the edges. I don't necessarily find it so, but you can do whatever you'd like. And you can just round the top of your envelope. Now when you're going to put it in your junk journal, if you're going to sew it in, you're going to sew it in where it's folded. So, you know, this, you can sew it in this direction or you can sew it in this direction. It'll become a pocket, and then this side can become a tuck spot, or you can glue it in, just like I showed you earlier, the big ones that I did, glue it in, put a little washi tape so somebody can open it all the time, and put little goodies in it as well. Let me show you how to make a library pocket out of your old book pages. This is sort of fun. So what you want to do is fold in the sides, equal amounts. I'm eyeballing it. It's not going to be perfect. If you want to measure it, great. I'm going to fold it. Then I want to flip it over and I want to decide how deep I want my library pocket. I'm just eyeballing it. So I folded about a third of it up. Maybe a little bit more than that. Okay? Now what you want to do is you want to take and you want to cut these bits straight across. You want to cut it exactly on the score line where you folded it. And then you are going to fold those over into the front. Fold those over into the front. You're going to glue them. What's neat about it is you want to have room. You don't want it to be flush to the envelope because you want to have room to stick, flush to the page because you want to have room to stick stuff in it, right? So with those little tiny tabs that were on the either side of the page, they create that automatically. Now what you might want to do is trim these bits up a little just so that it lies flat. See, just like this. Now I'm going to go ahead and glue those down. Now I did this without a template. You can use a template if you are more exacting than me. But I find it just fun. Now you can decide whether you want to keep the top square or whether you want to cut it off. You know, it's up to you. There is no rules in junk journaling. There you go. There's your library pocket. Now what's neat is you can go back and decorate it any way you'd like, and it's just a fun thing to do. So I hope you enjoyed this part of making and swapping a junk journal with Love Paper Crafts, our Facebook group. If you haven't joined us, please join us. It's not too late. It's never too late. And the next segment we'll do will be on tuck spots and how to sew your junk journal shut. signature closed or signature together. And I hope you enjoyed it. Once again, join us on Love Paper Crafts, our Facebook group, and take care. Aloha.